I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
Oh.
Don't give me this. You know I don't play right. I'll give it a good fight. Just give me the word. You know I don't play.
Oh my god. Fuck! Hey, howdy, how's it going? My name is Bennjipie, and this is going to be the review for XDefiant. This is something that I've been looking forward to because this game is actually really fun. Out of all the games that I've played recently, multiplayer-wise, this game has been very fun. Fortnite, you know, has its issues. Call of Duty has its issues. But a lot of multiplayer games have their issues. This is a new slate, pretty much, and it's been great to kind of try it out for once. So XDefiant for a while, for like a year now, before its official release, was pretty much marked as the Call of Duty killer. People expected it to do that because Modern Warfare 2, if you did not know, they pretty much took away movement, made it so that the game felt slower, wasn't as good, sluggish, it wasn't that fun to play. Modern Warfare 2 still sucks. And basically what happened was XDefiant came out, they had a beta or alpha or something like that. They had a couple play tests, and then Call of Duty randomly stepped up their game. They randomly decided that, hey, we're gonna actually do what XDefiant's doing besides the skill-based matchmaking because we feel threatened. And they've done this again because XDefiant fully released. I'll get into it a bit later because it's not really a part of the review, but just keep that in mind that XDefiant is it's competing in a market. Call of Duty has always been competing in a market. XDefiant is now in there. It has to do with first-person shooters. You are competing in that market when you make a game that has to do with that. You're not competing with a PvE game or something, you know, just to make that make sense. XDefiant is not in its own lane. It is a multiplayer PvP hero shooter, and I like it for what it is. I will say it flat out. If you want to know what I think about the game, if you should try it, if you think it's going to be the best thing to play or something like that, I don't know. There's no skill-based matchmaking. So if you're someone who has been playing since, I don't even know, like back in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, you felt like you usually did pretty well in those lobbies. Back then, like you feel like you dominated sometimes, you got shit on other times, you didn't play for a while, whatever, or you really enjoyed early Fortnite, this could be sort of your game because no skill-based matchmaking is very noticeable for this game because you can get cute against people who are level 70, you can get cute against people who are level 1 or 3, doesn't really matter. It's free to play. So I'm not going to make a video saying before you buy, like how some people have, and then judge it because I don't know how to play the game or I don't know how it works. I've seen a lot of people review this game very harshly. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of hyperbolic, really out of character sort of things in the sense of judging it for what it's really not, or being like, the hit registration is terrible, or commenting something like that. It doesn't really make sense. It's something that I don't particularly agree with. And, you know, to understand, the main issue right now with the game currently, I would say, and we'll get into the issues. Hit detection is one of the worst things ever, but it's not bad enough to the point where I don't feel like playing. It's something where it happens every now and again, and I'm like, man, that fucking sucks. But every single game has had an issue like this. Call of Duty has this sort of problem of hit detection, lag compensation, all these other things. Even fighting games have it because of people with bad internet. Then you have games like Fortnite where you watch yourself get shot through a place that you weren't. It's happened countless times. You can look it up, like broken hitboxes on Fortnite. That's something that happens all the time. It's on someone else's screen. They see you in this specific location, but on your screen, you're not in that location. You're actually further ahead. So that's why a lot of people you see complain about getting shot around corners. I get shot around corners very often. Once I'm running around a corner, I expect to die. Hopefully that does get resolved, but there is a bit of an issue where people are thinking that the game sucks or that it's really, really laggy because they don't realize that there is a specific faction, which is a group, it's a class to a degree, where they do fire damage. It's not even like 10 damage of a tick or like a couple ticks. It's like 8 damage, but it's just enough to where if you survive the gunfight, you're bleeding red, very low health, it could kill you, and you might think that the game is bullshit. But all right, just for, you know, that's sort of the intro there. Let's get into sort of like the base game. It's pre-season, so there's not a whole lot of content. It's just the base stuff that will be amplified, worked on, improved in the future, hopefully. We have 5 different game modes. Now, I'm just going to call them what they are. There's domination, hardpoint, hot shot, zone control, and escort. Escort is similar to the payload stuff for Overwatch. Zone control seems like a bit of like conquest or something from Battlefield, but much smaller. You basically capture 2 points or defend. If those 2 points are captured, it moves to another point. Usually it's 1, and then you capture that one, and then you have to capture 2 more, and then you finish the game. They do a thing that I've not seen a game do before, though, where it doesn't just end if the other team gets to the end. It has 2 rounds, so zone control and escort are linear, and they take a while. The matches are much longer for those games. The linear maps are pretty much maps that are designed to look the same way all the way out. Like it's you start in one spot, you end in another spot. It looks different the entire way through. It's pretty much going from A to B. Then we have arena maps, which pretty much are the typical Call of Duty sort of thing, which obviously that's the base comparison. All right. The arena maps, the maps in this game, the maps in general, besides linear, I'll say, there's a bunch of arena maps. I don't know all the name of the maps. All of them are pretty fun. Once you get used to them, it actually feels fun to play. There's a couple power positions. There's a couple areas where you're not in a good position. There's a lot of outskirts, but it's not big enough and to a certain point where it's like annoying to go into those areas. All around, the maps feel great. The movement with the maps makes the maps play well. If you were not able to slide jump and sprint as fast as you could, the maps would feel very big. I think that they did a very good job with how they built them, and they plan on adding more maps in the future, and I'll get into that for what their plan is later, but they plan on adding more maps, so I do hope that they add maps that are like that. They have 24 weapons, okay? So they have 24 weapons, pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, SMGs, snipers, all pretty much every single class, even LMGs. They're all pretty good. I wouldn't even say unbalanced. All of them are pretty, like, everything is broken, so it's like once everyone is super, no one will be. That's pretty much what's happening with all of the weapons. If you're really good, you are going to shine because you're going to make a gun seem way better to someone who sucks, and when they use it, they can't use it as well. That's just pretty much how it works. There is also 5 different factions. You get 4 to start. You earn the 5th one later. There is Phantoms, Echelon, Cleaners, and Libertad. The 5th one that you earn is DedSec, which is Watch Dogs themed. You hack stuff. You have to earn 700,000 XP for that, so just remember that. Now, another thing to include here as sort of like the base stuff is your max level, at least as of right now for the preseason, is level 100. Your account can get to 100 and that's it. Your weapon levels, though, can go to 100, and we also have a bit of camos that you can get, which is bronze, silver, and gold, getting to level 50, 75, and 100 with any gun. Every single gun can get to 100, which is pretty insane. There's a lot of people who have already completed a bunch of weapons, and there's a lot of people who have also done a glitch to do it. I don't even know what the glitch is. I thought about using it, but I was like, is it really worth it? I don't care. It would make me feel more satisfied actually earning it the correct way. So yeah, that's sort of how I feel about it. You don't do glitches, just do it the right way, unless it's absurd and you don't have the time for it. Honestly, that's up to you. If you work all the time, you only can play for an hour, dedicate an hour to doing that, because the glitch, you need a friend, I think. You could look it up. But yeah, the game currently, I would say, with just playing, with how I've played, you probably saw stuff, you know, a little bit of an intro of me shooting people and things like that, sniping. Hopefully I did do that. I'm thinking about it right now, so I'm definitely gonna do it. But you've seen how I play. The game is fun. It is enjoyable. I like that the name of guns is realistic. It's not made up stuff. It's not stupid. It's not something where you kind of look at it and you're like, I don't even, like, if someone names the gun, you wouldn't know what it is. For this game, it's the MP7, AK. That's all I can really think of. Those are classic guns. You say that, you know exactly what they look like. You've seen them 1,000 times. Those are in the game. One issue, though, is that there's not really enough of camos to grind for, and leveling up is very, very slow. I don't necessarily mind the weapon leveling. I do believe that they could just make the double XP that they have right now, you know, just always, like, that's the new XP that you earn, or maybe, you know, 1.5 have a double XP in there for the weekends. They have done that. Every single weekend they have done double XP, and it is awesome. And I do believe that you can stack double weapon XP with a token for the weekend, and it can be 4 times. Not for sure about that. I've just heard about it. But yeah, overall, there's not really a sense of progression. I do like that you can grind challenges for everything that's in the game regarding guns, characters, even the faction, that it's just XP that you get for a challenge. You have to earn like 700,000. It took me a good bit. I'm like level 44 and I finally got it. So take that as you will. It took me a couple bit, like probably it took me 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to actually get it, but I don't really use it all. The Watch Dogs DedSec faction isn't really, it's not that good. With other parts of how the game feels, I'll be honest, the Echelon Recon suit is probably one of the more broken items in the game, and I do think that it deserves a rework. I don't even think that the ability timer or anything should be nerfed. I think that it should be changed where it doesn't live track you through walls, where I'll probably have a clip here. You can see that the person is highlighted. You can see them and it tracks them the whole time. What they should do is have it where it shows an image or a scan. It shows you where they were at the time of that scan, and it doesn't track them. I think that's the perfect like rework to it. It makes it very balanced. It makes it very fair to everyone, where you have knowledge of where the person is, and then the person who scanned has knowledge of where the person could be coming from. It makes it an even playing field. I don't think that an ability like that should be that strong, especially for how many times it does a scan. Another thing, besides all the other abilities, pretty much everything else is whatever. I don't really use a whole lot of them, but the fire drone for the cleaners either does a ton of damage or it does no damage. Either it hits a wall and blows up, or it goes super, super far and it blows up and kills 3 people. I started using it as a close range weapon. Don't know if that's the way that it was intended. It seems like a drone that's meant to be sent out, because when you hold it, it gives you a little icon, like hologram sort of thing, an outline of where it might go. Don't know exactly how it's supposed to work, but yeah. It's very odd. Now, besides how I feel about the game, plenty of people feel different, right? There are certain people who have been playing this game, who have been tweeting, posting TikToks, commenting things, you know, whether, you know, it could be Instagram Reels or something. It could be on Reddit threads. There's a lot of people who have complained about the hit detection. And I do believe that the hit detection is mostly an issue that has to do with playing on console. Console players make it laggy, in my experience. I play on PC. I've played a lot on my PS5, and in my experience between both console and PC, console plays much worse. Not in movement or anything, not in feeling, but with lag and certain things like that. I play both on Ethernet, you know, things like that. Console is a little bit worse. It's a PS5. It's not something, it's just a bit noticeable in comparison. But besides hit detection, obviously we already said that. We already said that hit detection is an issue. Hit detection is going to continue to be an issue until they fix it, but it is something that they addressed, obviously. Another thing that people are complaining about is snipers. They're going to add the weapon sway, weapon flinch for snipers, so that it makes it harder for a sniper to be able to hit you, because if you are shooting someone right now in the game with an AR, they don't flinch. That's fine. I think that should stay the case. But if you shoot at a sniper, if they have their sights on you, there's nothing that happens. And that's the only way to balance it in the quick, fast-paced game that this is weapon flinch for snipers. I think that is probably the most fair thing. Don't make it where mobility is low. Don't make it so that aiming in is even slower. It takes skill to snipe, I do have to say. There's 50% less aim assist for what the game is. The aim assist is way less than Call of Duty. It is much harder to use a sniper on XDefiant, and once you're used to it, once you get good at it, you should be able to show that off. So there's also the thing as well of people complaining about people sniping. You can just back out, and the reason for that is because you can get into games very easily, because there's no skill-based matchmaking. That was the most important thing that was for all of this. That's the main thing here. Okay, it's no skill-based matchmaking in XDefiant, and a lot of people want it back. Some people say, well, my lobbies on Call of Duty were so much easier. It got worse for no skill-based matchmaking on XDefiant. Partially, the person could just suck at the game. Secondly, they just suck, like, in general. They suck at XDefiant, but then they also suck at Call of Duty. So that's like a double negative. That's partially the people who are wanting skill-based matchmaking. People who say that they don't want skill-based matchmaking in a public game are people like myself, legitimate people who are like, hey, I understand it. Keep that in ranked though. That makes it fair for everyone. Quick match, I want to be able to load up a game in 30 seconds. I don't want to wait 3 minutes to get into a queue or something like that, because I need to be matched against specific people. Because my internet is good, I shouldn't be punished for having to be on 50 ping, 60 ping. It happens in Call of Duty. It's fucking stupid. No one likes it. People want skill-based matchmaking because they suck. And for people like me, we aren't wanting to shit on terrible players. We want to be able to shine and show that we are good at the game instead of feeling punished for being good at the game. It's not fun. Trust me, it is not fun. No skill-based matchmaking is how Call of Duty used to be years ago. It's how every game used to be. They do team balancing, but they didn't do like necessarily a whole thing of you get this many players, you get this many good players, you get this many bad players, like that sort of thing. They don't do that for XDefiant. They didn't do it earlier in the years of Call of Duty before Modern Warfare 2019. Games without skill-based matchmaking feel better to play because it feels natural, it feels organic. And that is something that Mark Cuban has said and addressed, that it feels better to play with no skill-based matchmaking. It feels like a chore. It feels like the same thing over and over and over, and it's boring. No one likes it. Another thing, people hate the heroes, or like the hero abilities in a hero shooter. I get it to a degree. I didn't like it at first. I thought that some of them were very broken. I also didn't understand the game. So I had given a review prior when they did one other beta test or play test thing, played it a bit, didn't really like it. There was a bunch of issues at the time, like movement wise and things. It felt sluggish. They fixed that. Like a lot of it feels better. I understand the game now. It's pretty self-explanatory on everything, to me at least, and the abilities are pretty counterable. A lot of things are easily countered. EMP grenades are probably the strongest things ever, and you spawn in with them every single life. An EMP destroys every single ability instantly, makes it so that if someone's using it, if they did use it, it doesn't work anymore. It's awesome. Continue to use those. If you want to use frag grenades or flashbangs, go ahead. That one request. Actually, no, I'll say it later. But flashbangs are fucking awful. Like awful because they're good. But yeah, use EMPs. The abilities are not that bad. If you don't like the slight hero shooter, it's not like Overwatch where the abilities are the main point. Don't worry about that. People hate the bunny hopping. I hate the bunny hopping too. The bunny hopping is awful in this game. The main issue is that there's no punishment for bunny hopping, which is something that they will be adding in the future. And overall, I do think that you should be allowed to show off that you have the ability to move around, that you have that sort of talent, but you should not be able to jump in opposite directions consistently without losing momentum. Like that shouldn't be a thing. They are going to add like a sort of weapon sway if you jump too many times. I think that's perfect for it. Just don't make it super annoying. Don't make it so that if you jump 3 times, it's awful. Like make it 4 or 5, like in that area or something. I don't know. For me, typically, I slide jump and that's it. I don't do any bunny hopping, like constant jumping in the middle of a gunfight, unless the other team is doing it and they're sweating, you know? You don't do that. But understand, overall, the bunny hopping sort of can stay, but balance it, all right? And they're working on that. They addressed it. Some people want perks. Some people want kill streaks. No. The perks is pretty much the factions. That's all you need to know. Kill streaks, that would make this game so much... It would make it so fucking boring. It's like Overwatch having kill streaks. That would suck. But besides how other people feel, other things that will be added: search and destroy, team deathmatch, a ping system, sort of communication system will be added, and that's great. Everyone loves that. I honestly am excited for some of those things, especially like team deathmatch. Hopefully that there's people who play fairly, but I do like the objectives. Objectives are more fun to play on. And besides other things that are being added, there's a couple issues. If you are playing on PC like myself, you've probably experienced a thing where the game is really, really laggy. You probably already searched this up and found the conclusion as to what is happening. If you use a NVIDIA graphics card, Shadowplay creates constant freezing, and they could have patched it by now, but I've had it off since then because it made my game literally just not work at all. It wasn't a hardware thing. It's literally just Shadowplay itself. Really annoying. There is team collision in the game, but there's no enemy collision, so in doorways, you get stuck on your teammates, you can't get stuck on enemies. Make it one or the other, or make it like both or none, because it's very annoying to start off a game and have your teammate be in the way, but you can sprint through the enemy. I fucking hate that. I hate that in every game. If you're gonna have collision, make it one, like for everyone or no one. Please. Slight issue that I don't know where it came from, but you can get like the end of the game can be really funny where like you see someone sprinting. I don't know why this happens. I think it's like someone moves and then it like they get teleported to this like end circle thing and then it just shows them. But anyways, you know, that doesn't really matter. Another issue that I've noticed, the DedSec watchdogs, they have a spider drone that can like shock you. There's no visible hitbox for it when it jumps on your face and things like that. Obviously you have to shoot the floor, melee the floor or something, but it's not very clear You can't just like melee the air and get it off or anything. Like I do think that they should have a little bit of a tutorial with that, sort of show how to counter it or something. EMP grenades are not like, it doesn't work like that. But all right, last two things for this review. Overall, their plan for every season going forth, they didn't do it for this season. Actually, they might have. They did give us a one gun in the battle pass, and they could have added like maps and technically a new faction, but we've already seen all of these things before. Anyways, the plan for every season going forth is the battle pass will have 90 tiers. There will be a new faction, 3 new maps, and 3 new weapons. I know what some of the weapons are going to be. I'm not going to leak it here because it is a leak. Be surprised. It's guns where if you hear it, you're going to go, that's pretty fucking cool. I kind of dig that. I want to see how it plays. The faction, I actually don't know what the faction will be. I don't know what the maps will be. I don't even know what's in the next battle pass. I do know what one of the weapons are, though. But understand that that's sort of what they're doing. The thing that I like right now, for their preseason, is that you can buy the battle pass, and even though the battle pass is shorter, you can earn all of your like tokens or V-Buck equivalent for XDefiant back, and that's awesome. I love when games do that. It's a free-to-play game, and we actually get our fucking money back. Games like Multiverses didn't even do that shit when they first fucking had stuff. Anyways, and even Call of Duty doesn't really do it. They bumped up the prices randomly. But yeah, just take that, note that. That's what they're going to do for every season. I'm excited for it. They didn't really have a theme. I hope that they do that. Like for things that I want to see in the future, I hope that they have themes like medieval, and make it so that every person like in a faction, if you're going to give one a skin, give all the others a skin, because don't let anyone feel like super left out. Okay. Like I think that that's something that should be kind of obvious. Another thing that I want to see in the future is being able to talk to the enemy team. I think being able to talk shit is great in video games, and especially for a game like this, I think it's deserved. Another thing, when you're creating or starting a match, I should be able to customize my fucking guns. You can't do that, and I really wish you could. So honestly, just for that one thing, how many times, comment down below, how many times have you been creating like a loadout, you've been customizing your thing, you're like, all right, let me put this camo on here, let me put this attachment, and it pops up create match? Let me know, because it's happened to me countless. I can't even count. Another thing, if they want to get some, brownie points here, just as a company and everything, I know it's Ubisoft, but when you use tokens to make it so that you have double XP of this or that, make it so that it's during the time of you playing the game. Don't let it be something in the lobby. There are people with internet issues and things like that. Make it so that their time feels valued. That's very important. Obviously, I don't really have internet issues, but sometimes, I might start playing and then I'm like, hey, I'm kind of fucking tired of this. Even though I use my 20-minute XP token, I don't really care. And then I log out. Another thing, last thing, maybe you guys might like this. They kind of did this in Black Ops 3 a very long time ago, and that's what I started to think of. But add mastery skins for every character in every faction. So pretty much you pick up a character, doesn't matter who it is, you can get the bronze, silver, gold sort of thing, and then have it where if you get all of them in the faction, you get this, pretty much like gold to diamond, get all of them diamond, you can get this different skin, or have it where get a certain amount of kills or something like that. Grinding and progression and the ability to always be working on something is very good for a game like this. It's obviously, free to play, online only. It's a multiplayer shooter. I want stuff to do. That is one thing that, I know a lot of people did complain about. But yeah, that's all I really want to see for the game. That's my review. I don't know if that's exactly how a review should be done, but that's my way of doing the review. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you did like it, like the video. That's all I ask. And if you want to see more stuff like this or more stuff on XDefiant, subscribe. I will definitely make more videos on it. News related or just commentaries talking about things, what people have talked about. It doesn't really matter, honestly. It's just, this game is very fun and I like it. I'm not a Call of Duty dick rider. I'm not an XDefiant dick rider. I like both the games for what they do, but Call of Duty's been lacking. XDefiant has server issues. Hopefully they can work out their differences and, actually fucking do shit and have good games. I'm tired of like corporate video games. That's sort of what it's starting to turn into. Not XDefiant, but Call of Duty's been very corporate. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah. I don't know really how to do an outro. Yeah. I have a second channel. I don't know if you guys want to subscribe to that, but I'll be uploading like gameplay, me playing with friends, funny moments, mostly funny moments, just there. So yeah. Just gonna be sitting here, just doing my thing. I'll see you guys. Yes, there's a subscribe button right on the screen. You should probably subscribe. Hope you guys have a great day.